Iran has once again vehemently slammed the United States for what it describes as the completely illegal kidnapping and abduction of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro along with his wife during a brazen military operation deep inside sovereign territory. Sustaining relentless diplomatic pressure against Washington, Tehran has formally demanded that America immediately and unconditionally free the abducted Venezuelan leaders being unlawfully detained on foreign soil.
The president of a country and his wife have been kidnapped. This is not something to be proud about. This is an absolutely illegal move, and as the Venezuelan officials and people have stressed, their president must be freed.
Iranian diplomat Bagay forcefully emphasized that this egregious violation of Caracas' national sovereignty fundamentally contradicts every established norm and principle enshrined within international law governing state relations. Iran sternly warned that Washington's dangerous new precedent of military extractions will inevitably have far-reaching and destabilizing repercussions rippling across the entire international community of sovereign nations worldwide. Tehran also directly called upon the United Nations Secretary-General and the Security Council to bear unequivocal direct responsibility for actively safeguarding and upholding the sanctity of the foundational United Nations Charter against such violations. On December 3, elite U.S. Special Operations Forces dramatically abducted both Maduro and his wife directly from their Caracas stronghold before swiftly transferring the high-profile detainees thousands of miles away to face justice in New York. The controversial duo are currently being securely held by U.S. authorities to confront what Washington adamantly claims amounts to serious federal, drug-related charges tied to narco-terrorism networks flooding America with deadly narcotics. Iran's fiery official remarks come at a moment when US President Donald Trump has dramatically raised the stakes for potential future military interventions targeting authoritarian regimes anywhere across the globe without hesitation. Taking a pointed rhetorical dig comparing territorial disputes, Bagay declared that unlike certain European Union members wavering over Greenland, Iran maintains an absolutely firm and uncompromising stance defending its territorial integrity against any aggressors. Ismail Bagay said, and I quote, "For us, the violation of state sovereignty and the infringement upon the territorial integrity of countries, whether in Lebanon and Syria or Yemen and Venezuela, or Denmark and Greenland, is unacceptable and condemned in all cases. European figures who show moral courage and take a stand against this blatant violation of international law are well versed in history, and have learned lessons from the continent's past." Unquote. Iran has publicly praised France, which notably stood out among Western governments for its principled and vocal criticism of America's unilateral military action and violation of sovereignty committed inside Venezuela. As President Trump's explicit military threats continue to proliferate globally, Iran simultaneously vowed to take all necessary measures to vigorously safeguard its national sovereignty, territorial integrity, and independence from foreign interference. This strong statement arrives precisely amid Trump's renewed and increasingly specific threats directed personally against Iran concerning both its prohibited ballistic missile program and the regime's lethal crackdown against swelling domestic protests. Slamming President Trump's interventionist rhetoric as baseless propaganda, Tehran claimed these manufactured tensions inside Iran actually represent sophisticated psychological warfare orchestrated jointly by the United States and Israel to destabilize the government. Nationwide protests spontaneously erupted across every major Iranian city last week following the currency's catastrophic freefall amid crippling hyperinflation rates that have obliterated ordinary citizens' purchasing power and life savings. As political tensions threaten to boil over catastrophically inside Iran, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has reportedly prepared elaborate contingency measures to urgently flee the country for political asylum in Russia, according to the Times' exclusive reporting. A classified intelligence report shared directly with the Times urgently warned about the disturbingly high chances that Tehran's security apparatus could ultimately prove incapable of suppressing the escalating nationwide protests gaining unstoppable momentum. The 86-year-old frail supreme leader reportedly plans to execute this desperate escape alongside an extremely tight close circle comprising up to 20 most trusted personal aides, immediate family members, and regime diehards ensuring leadership continuity from exile. This high-risk contingency plan draws direct tactical inspiration from the narrow escape of Khamenei's longtime Arab ally Bashar al-Assad, who dramatically fled his collapsing Damascus regime aboard a Russian government transport plane destined for Moscow sanctuary. Khamenei's decades-long personal investments bankrolling the so-called Axis of Resistance proxy militias from Yemen's Houthis to Syrian regime forces are now paradoxically facing their fiercest major resistance from his own disillusioned Iranian citizens rejecting external adventurism. The devastating decapitation strikes that systematically dismantled key leadership cadres across those proxy fronts during last year's war with Israel have led ordinary Iranians to passionately question sacrificing national blood and treasure for distant foreign wars. One particularly defiant and powerful chant repeatedly heard echoing through the streets powerfully declared, "No to Gaza, no to Lebanon, I'd give my life for Iran only," perfectly capturing protesters' fierce repudiation of Khamenei's interventionist regional empire.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.